Hi guys, my name is Anna and today I'm going to be discussing my experience at my local winter book signing. So Winter is the finale of the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, as you all know, the wonderfully talented author and amazingly popular series that I got to go to a book signing to. I'm amazed that it was local-ish. It was 3 hours away. The drive was hell. I will not speak of it again. But let's just say that it was so long and so tedious, but at least I got to jam to all of my music in the car. But still, it would have been nice if it had been 5 minutes away and there hadn't been so much preparing and snack packing and everything that went into it and moving 5 miles an hour, because people don't realize that you have to merge to leave the lane that's ending, unfortunately. So they wait to the last minute, and that caused us to have to wait for like 30 minutes. But we got there and it was amazing, and I am so happy I got to experience it. To enter the event, you had to buy a copy of Winter, even though I already had one, so that way you could get your book signed, you know. Even though I already had one, I wanted it, you know, to get my book signed. Unfortunately, I didn't know that you could get all your other books signed as well if you brought them with you. So I didn't bring my book because I thought you could only get books signed that you actually purchased from their store, which was Quail Ridge Books. They did host a wonderful event, though. They also made a themed Luna Ball where they provided snacks that were kind of themed, like, you know, apple themed, and then they actually had like a costume contest, and I actually have a photo of one of the cosplayers there who was playing Lavana in her wedding dress. She is phenomenal. Shout outs to you, Evelyn. It looks amazing. Unfortunately, I didn't get nearly as much footage of the event as I wanted. There were a ton of people, oh my god, crammed into that tiny little store to meet Marissa Meyer, and the entire thing was packed, and there was no way to film something without somebody walking in front of you or just buzzing, and there was no way to, like, for me to give you guys my witty commentary on what was going on. Unfortunately, I'm sure you guys are so deeply saddened that you were deprived of that, of me seeing different books that of course I had to buy because you're in a bookstore. That's just, I mean, that handy and crack to an addict. So I did end up buying some things that I will want to show you guys. First, I found Soundless by Rochelle Mead, which I have had on my to-wish list for like forever, and it even has this extra special double cover that I haven't seen any of the editions on, and then it has the original cover and it's signed by her as well. I didn't get to meet her. I just found out there were several copies on the shelf that were signed, and I've been wanting the book, and they had a special signed edition with an extra fancy cover jacket leaf thing. I don't know what you guys call these. Everyone has a different name for these, but I will show you guys her signature. It was fantastic to just stumble upon this on the shelves. I thought there was only one at first, so I snatched it up and carried around it with me, and I was like, this is my precious. And when acting like a crazy pants, I actually jumped in front of someone, and then I looked down, and there's a stack of 5 other copies that were all signed, so I acted like a loony bin for nothing. But I'm so happy I got this. I can't wait to read it. It sounds fantastic. The cover is gorgeous. I love this extra special, fancy, whatever thing we've got on top of it. I'm really excited I managed to grab this and be one of the 5-something people who had signed copies. And then next I was just browsing the shelves waiting for the event to start because I got there a little bit early, and lo and behold, look what I found. A hardback edition of The Book Thief. The Book Thief is one of my all-time favorite books, and I only have a fairly old paperback copy, and I find in the original cover a hardback. The only other hardbacks have been like redone in like the movie edition, and I didn't want the movie edition because I like the movie, but I still like keeping the book in its like original cover, especially since this was the cover that I'd grown to know and love when I read it for the first time. But look at how gorgeous it is. It's but it's hardcover, so I mean, hardcovers, I think most book lovers agree, are like 1,000 times better. So now I have it to go with all the other hardcovers on my shelf, and it's just shiny and perfect. And I have just a perfect brand new edition of one of my favorite books of all time, and I couldn't be happier when I saw it. Not signed though. I can't tell you how much I would fangirl if I found that out, but still worth it for hardcover. I mean, oh my god. This is my edition of Winter that I purchased from Quail Ridge Books, and this is my signature. It says "To Anna" from Marissa Meyer, and it has a Join the Resistance stamp on the top. Unfortunately, unlike some of the signings I've been to before, it was a pretty quick, you handed her your book, she said, I am hope you enjoyed, or I'm happy you enjoyed it. She actually said I hope you enjoy it because most people hadn't had a chance to read it yet because it come out so recently. And you didn't really get a time to chat with her one-on-one or anything, which was sad, but there were so many people who turned up. They didn't really have time for you to have a lot, like 5 minutes of her to yourself, which was, you know, every reader's dream when you go to a book signing, which I happened to get when I went to my Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Thorns and Roses signing. I got a good 5 minutes getting to chat with her when I got my book signed. I was one of the first people, though, who got my book signed and left, so she probably still had a lot of energy because she'd only signed like 5 books ahead of me, so she hadn't been like tired yet, and I was like way at the bottom of the list for this one. So I will say I was a little bit disappointed in that, but a Q&A section totally made up for it. I personally didn't have a question to ask. I just leave that to other people who were like really heart set on getting to ask a question, because it's just not something that works me up unless I had for the specific author a really important question. But I didn't, so I just didn't raise my hand or ask something a little bit more generic and let the other people get the experience of having it. But I loved her answers about how she would brainstorm and her editing process and how she even came up with character names. Babynames.com, woo woo! Shout out to them, not a sponsor, but pretty much just the #1 website for all authors, I would say, except for randomly Googling images of what you think your characters would look like. I also got some merch when I went. I had no idea you would be receiving any merch when you came to this, but you got a sheet of temporary lunar-themed tattoos, which is just like amazing. I was not expecting that. You also got this little flyer thing from Fierce Reads, which could also double really as a bookmark. I'm not sure because it's laminated and it's really thick, so I'm not sure honestly if they meant for this to be a bookmark or not, but I think I might actually use it a little bit for a bookmark because it looks pretty cool. Last but not least, and probably my favorite, are these matching winter gloves. They're amazing. They're a little bit big on me because I have freakishly small hands, but these are what they look like. They have the lunar moon symbol and they say winter and the font we all know and love, and they're pretty awesome. I will definitely be strutting around in these once the weather gets cold enough to warrant them. But I was so excited, I literally squealed a little bit when I found out that each person who got their book signed got a pair of these. And there you have it. That was pretty much everything that I got to experience at the book signing. It was another really long 3-hour drive back. We ended up finally arriving back at the house at 1 o'clock in the morning because it ended fairly late, but it was fun and I am definitely happy I went, and I hope everyone else there had a fantastic time too. And if you get a chance to go to Marissa Meyer's signing, I definitely recommend it. It was a fantastic experience. And I have another author signing checked off my bucket list. I unfortunately keep on adding authors that I want to go visit, so I don't think the bucket list is ever going to diminish. I think it's going to keep growing because as soon as I check off one author, I get 5 more put on the list because the amount of books expanding in my favorites list are just ever growing, and I love it that way though. I love getting to find new books. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!